Come on, you Reds.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Talk Force TV. We have got Scott to my left.
How are we doing?
I'm good, you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Going into Middlesbrough game after that win against Hull City, how are you feeling about it?
I don't know, really. I think it's going to be a difficult match going up there. I think obviously the new manager's got him playing only Chris Wilder, which was, I guess, to be expected, really. But Forest showed that he come back from a goal behind on Saturday, showed a bit of resilience, and to be honest, I was really impressed with them. First kind of half an hour, 35 minutes. I think that's the best I've seen them play at home in terms of using the ball and controlling the play. So I was dead impressed. It was a bit of a shame that the lad from Arsenal, is it SA Tutu, when he went off, it seemed to mess us up a little bit. We weren't as fluent, and I think it caused a few problems with us. But yeah, I'm feeling fairly confident. I think we obviously go there and get a point definitely, but no doubt he'll be wanting to go for a win. So who knows? Forest on the break are pretty devastating away from home. So why wouldn't we go for a win?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've proven it quite a few times this season to come back to win. I think we've only beaten 7 away games or something as well, which it's first to say at the start of the season to be 7 unbeaten away from home. You'd be slapping your hand off near enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it, really, how they've turned it around. But part of me is not surprised. I think we've always underachieved. I think clearly now having a manager that wants to play, I think a bit more attacking wise, I think that's definitely, the players are definitely a bit more on board with that. They're being encouraged to pass the ball, aren't they? Even out from the back, Worrell, McKenna, even, I think it's great that we've got Ryan Yates in there at the minute. I think that's a real kind of, could be a bit of a masterstroke playing in there, because the way they were coming out with the ball against Hull, it was like, this looks like, brilliant. Everybody's comfortable on the ball. I think Ryan Yates was still winning his headers up against Josh McGuinness, who's, even though he's a little bit out of form at the minute, he's still a bit of a handful. But he seemed to win plenty of his headers. And then obviously when he went into midfield in the second half, he played ever so well, Ryan Yates. So yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to, isn't there, at the minute?
Yeah, Yates seemed to be like a changed man since Stevie Cooper came in, because last season a lot of fans didn't really want him to be in the Forest shirt, but this season, since Cooper came in, he's a changed man. I mean, even playing it in the 3 in the back, you wouldn't have guessed it, but it's proven a lot of people won, even when he went to midfield ball in the second half.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really nice to see, to be honest. He shut a few people up. Yeah. And, all right, Yates, I think it was probably his use of the ball was probably the biggest frustration with Ryan, but, he stuck at it. And you can't fault the effort that he puts in, the ground that he covers. And at the end of the day, he's a young player that's been developing, but it just goes to show under a manager, he's doing really well. I mean, at the end of the day, Chris Hughton I think he had him as a captain a few times. I think Sabri really liked him. Martin O'Neill liked him. So even though he wasn't kind of getting it, right in front of the fans, he was obviously doing something in training every day to be first choice for all those managers. And then, Steve Cooper's come in, and you're kind of thinking, actually, if there was going to be a casualty, it might be Ryan Yates, because the way Steve Cooper likes to play with a, ball playing midfielders, everybody comfortable on the ball. But he's obviously, he's stuck with Ryan Yates, and Yates is kind of, he's just got up a few levels, hasn't he? He's just kind of like, let's show what I'm made of. And I think he's starting to show now that he can be that top half championship player now, if not progress to better. So, when you see him and Joe Worrell, they've been at Forest for years and they're fighting for the shirt, I think they're so important to the fabric of the team.
Oh, definitely. They both have. And there was a tweet going around on I think it was Saturday or Sunday saying that they have been here for years, and it's nice to see that them two are starting to feel the benefits of it, especially with everything we've been through.
Yeah, and I think they have been through. They've seen a lot. over the years, a lot of carnage. So it's I think it's particularly nice for them two to. I mean, it all fell apart under Sabri, but I suppose it's a little bit like that at the minute, where we're kind of riding high in the league. But it'd be nice to see if we can obviously finish a little bit better than we did under Sabri that season. And I think they both thoroughly deserve it. I think, Joe Worrell's playing really well and looking, I think, every ounce of Premier League player, at the minute. So I think we can keep hold of him and Brennan, keep them two. And I don't think we really need to sell anybody, to be honest. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens in January.
Yeah, I mean, it already seems to start to be happening with the transfer mill with Brennan and that Brentford bit that meant to go on in. So it'd be nice to keep them two and just build around it.
Yeah, I think so. It was good that his dad came out. It's good that David Johnson came out and said he's not going anywhere. He's not for sale. So I don't think DJ's one to kind of come out and say something if you don't mean it. So so that's pretty good, really. I think, to be honest, Forest would shoot themselves in the foot. I think if they cashed in now, I think January's, it's hard to kind of get the right players. And, even if Forest got 10, 15 million for Ben and Johnson, who are they going to buy? I'm not sure. I think if we keep hold of him until the summer, if he has to go, then he has to go. He's not going to want to hang around, I don't think, with Forest for too long, because he's just getting better by the game, isn't he? And you're kind of thinking he's got Premier League quality about him. But hopefully, him and Joe Worrell, you'll keep hold of him in January, and we can just keep pushing. And they might well get promotion and play in the Premier League with Forest. And I mean, how good does that sound?
Oh, it sounds spinning. You wouldn't have said it with under Chris Hughton, but now you'd be looking at it like if them two keep on at it, then you could be playing it with Forest.
Yeah, so it's unbelievable turnaround, because it was terrible watching them under Chris Hughton. Football was so, I don't know, just dull.
And funny enough, it was Middlesbrough that was the nail in the coffin for Chris Hughton. I mean, he got sacked that night or morning, and then funny enough, since then Middlesbrough got rid of Neil Warnock. So
yeah, I went to when did I see him? I saw Middlesbrough put Hull, and Hull beat him 2-1. And he was wobbling a little bit then, Warnock, and it felt like his time was up, 72. But I mean, Chris Wilder, as I said earlier, I think that's a really good appointment. I'd probably have had him at Forest over Steve Cooper. If you'd gone back then, I've always been a big fan of Chris Wilder and the football he's played at Sheffield United. So I was kind of having, I'd love to have Chris Wilder, but Steve Cooper's just done, unreal job so far.
Yeah, yes, to be fair. I mean, it just brought so much belief back that we've probably not had since Sabri. So
yeah, it's special when you get that kind of belief back, and it's even more special at Forest, I think, for the fans, because we just very rare that we kind of get them feelings of touching distance of success, and we're getting a taste of it, and it just goes to show how massive it is. But he just seems to be embracing it. He just seems to be like, he gets the club. I think that's the resounding thing. He knows how we want to play. That counter attack is a bit classic Forest, really, in years gone by. Do you know what I mean? We kind of push our luck away from home, but always looking to get on the front foot and score a goal. And that's what I was brought up on as a kid. 8 or 9, we'd always used to kind of play like that. But we were exciting to watch, and I think that's a really nice thing at the minute, that we are exciting to watch. And think about the start of the season compared to now, it's like such a turnaround.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm going to say Saturday, but we're playing Sunday actually. Obviously, there will be a bit of changes anyway, especially with two. Hopefully, 2-2's not too bad. But obviously, looking at Spence isn't playing, so it will be interesting to see how we do adapt to with them. One change at least.
Yeah, I think that's the worry, isn't it? Because I think Forest rely so much on the wing backs, in terms of our style of play. So I think it's going to be a blow. Obviously, Jed Spence not going to play, so that's going to be a blow. And then, the left back, we could really do with him on the pitch. So the Colback obviously can play there, but I'm not sure who'd slot in as right wing back, if I'm honest. I can't think of who might do that job. I could try to think who did it. Was Jed Spence sent off? And did he have a one-match ban or something?
Yeah, just had to think he played. It was Finn back actually. I think he played against Stoke. Can't think.
Was that on
Yeah.
So, whether he'll get Finn back will get a call up, I'm not sure. So, it just goes to show how important Spence is. That if he's missing, then it's a problem.
Oh, definitely. It was me so that played in against Borough. Then I think he got brought off, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a tough game. I would think I'd take a point.
Yeah, I'll be the same as well. A point will be very, very good up against Middlesbrough just to keep things ticking.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think they just need to keep the momentum, ticking over, win your own games over Christmas. I think they've got Huddersfield and Barnsley.
Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking, they're probably try and win their own games and see if we can pick up a point. But you know what Forest are like at the minute. You won't put it past them, beating Middlesbrough and then maybe struggling at home a little bit, but. I think that was a big positive for me on Saturday against Hull. Is that I've watched them a few times at home and not been overly convinced by Forest at home. So I think to play the way they did on Saturday and to show that fight to come back was, it was really good to see. And they kept going as well. So it's filled me a little bit with hope that they can play a little bit different at home. Hull were playing well. Up until that, I've been unbeaten in 6 games, and they gave Forest a good game, very competitive. So I think it was a very good win for Forest.
Oh, it was. I mean, first to play that first half was really good. And do you feel like our Forest are at home? Do you feel like the pressure off the fan base do you get to them, or it's a bit of a
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because I actually reported on the game. For Hull City, so I was there, and it's interesting when you're a bit detached from it. So the Forest fans were starting to get a bit frustrated in the second half, but obviously the referee, they were kind of losing the referee a bit, and I think he played an important role to be fair, because he was getting some decisions wrong, and he was riling the fans up a little bit, which was quite good. And then obviously they won the penalty, and then the fans were right behind him from that point. So it is interesting, but I think that's my worry really, that years gone by, if Forest struggle a little bit at home and they've got a big crowd in, the pressure gets to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of like, but I suppose under the running under Sabri, they absolutely collapsed against Stoke with no fans in. So you can't win, can you?
No, it's Forest for you. But yeah, definitely. I mean, even if with Hull, I mean, right hand up, but Hull did change their tactics against the second half. They tried to go not let us play, and which did was a bit frustrating. But when Forest got to grips with it, it was more case of when we got on score.
Yeah, I think Hull came out second half and tried to get a bit of a press on Forest, didn't they? But I thought Forest I just thought they really stuck at it and were, winning tackles. And I think Zinkernagel, he was really unlucky not to score with that header that the keeper made a cracking save off. And then, they got the penalty. And to be honest, I mean, I suppose we did rather look a little bit at the end. Keane Lewis Potter had a couple of moments where he got away and got a dink to the back post where nobody could quite get on the end of it. But Lewis Graben should have done better with his chance at the end. And it was typical Lewis, really, that he seems to miss the easier chances. And, it was a big miss as well. So, but I don't know, it's good. It's good. I think just a couple more additions. And, we might be looking strong. I don't think there's anything to be worried about in the top. Well, especially in those 4 playoff places anyway. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, them 4 near enough catchable to be fair now.
Yeah, and I think they just got to keep going, haven't they? I think in some respects it's probably better for Forest to keep chasing teams, because I guess it just takes that pressure off a little bit. That you're on the chase, but I don't know. It's just unbelievable run at the minute, and if they keep going, who knows if they can start closing the gap between the top two, because Bournemouth have been sputtering a bit since the last international break. So yeah, well, I don't know. Just you have to wait and see, don't we? But it's good that you've got something to look forward to. You're looking forward to games, thinking that they might get a win.
Yeah, definitely. And what would you be your scoreline for the Borough game?
I'm going to go optimistic. I'm going to say 3-1 Forest.
Really optimistic.
Yeah. I don't know. I just fancy us on the break at the minute. They're just lightning. Just when they break with the ball, Brennan Johnson, he's quicker with the ball, I think, when he's got it rather than when he's just normally running. He's just unreal when he carries the ball. And Lewis Grabban just seems to be absolutely loving it, just kind of having somebody. And then Zinchenko, he's just got that quality. So it wouldn't surprise me. So I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to say, yeah, Forest 3-1.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for coming on.
No worries, mate.
Thank you for watching, guys.